How do the wealthy protect their assets? Let's say you're the monopoly guy and you're being sued. Someone's coming after all your money. What do? I'm Michael Brandwein, your favorite asset protection attorney. Before we dive in, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What's offshore asset protection, you might ask? Let's find out. Okay, Mr. Monopoly Guy, let's say you're really wealthy. You've got a ton of stuff and you want to protect it. So what's next? You can leave all your stuff in a bank down the street, but that maybe isn't the best idea. You see, if you hit someone with your car, for instance, and you get sued for a judgment, well, you're gonna have problems if all your money is just sitting in a bank down the street. So what do? Well, you can explore an asset protection structure. Most people look at it as something a little nefarious, but it really isn't. It's just a way for the wealthy to protect what they've already earned. So how does this work? Well, the classic approach was to have a trust offshore owning a limited liability company that's also offshore. The thinking is that nobody owns the trust. Your assets are given to the trust, which are given to this company. Essentially, the trust owns the company. So what's your role in all this? Well, you're the manager of the LLC, therefore you're not cut out completely. And of course, you're the ultimate beneficiary. So it's not like you don't have the right to it. It's just that certain things have to happen for you to be able to withdraw your cash, for example. All of this is designed to protect you against creditors. But wait, should I still have my money down the street? How does that work? No, that defeats the purpose. It all has to go offshore. Offshore asset protection. So for instance, you can have a trust in the Cook Islands that owns a Nevis LLC. Your funds are stored in a bank, let's say in Switzerland. Probably heard about Swiss bank accounts, right? Well, there's a reason why people do it. It's to protect their wealth. The whole point of this isn't to evade income taxes or anything like that. No. This is to protect your wealth. If, for instance, Mr. Monopoly Guy, you drive your car into someone and now you're being sued, you are essentially cut off from your wealth. Why are you cut off? Well, obviously, you don't want to have it because then you don't want to give it if you lose and there's a judgment against you. This is why people offshore their wealth. Historically, US courts don't have a lot of say in certain jurisdictions like the Cook Islands or Nevis, for example. You might be thinking, Michael, this sounds great, but there's got to be a catch, right? Yes and no. Remember, we've been talking about hitting someone with your car, Mr. Monopoly Guy. We've been discussing civil cases with a private party. If you're ever in trouble with the government, for example, this isn't exactly going to do a whole lot. They're going to make you repatriate your wealth back to the US. And if you can't, you may be in trouble because then you might be in contempt of a judgment. That's not good. Like I said before, this is not a tax play. You're not going to move your assets offshore and poof, Uncle Sam doesn't want to cut. That's not how it works. In addition to that, this is going to make your tax return filings a little bit more complicated. There are certain disclosure forms you have to file if you have an offshore entity. The other thing I want to point out too is that if you divest yourself of your assets and a court says, well, you got to get them back and you can't, in theory, you could be held in contempt of court. So you have to be really careful when exploring this type of structure. I'm Michael Brandwein, aka the Showstopper, and I'll see you on the next one. And remember, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.